Greetings, fellow horror fans. Horror look at the Hellraiser series now continues on with Hellraiser Bloodline. In 2127, Dr. Paul Merchant, an engineer, seals himself in a room aboard the Minos, a space station that he designed. As armed guards attempt to break through the door, Merchant manipulates the robot into solving the limit configuration, destroying the robot in the process. The guards break through the door and apprehend Merchant, who agrees to explain his motivations to their leader, Rimmer. The film flashes back to Paris, France, 1796. Dr. Merchant's ancestor, Philip Le Marchand, a French toy maker, makes a lent configuration on commission from the libertine aristocrat Duc de L'Aille. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Unbeknownst to Le Marchand, L'Aille's specifications make the box make it a portal to hell. Upon turning the box to L'Aille, Le Marchand watches seeing his assistant Jacques sacrifice a peasant girl and use her flayed-off skin to summon a demon, Angelique, through the box. Le Marchand runs home in terror, where he begins working on blueprints for a second box, which neutralize the effects of the first. So they turn to L'Aille's mansion to steal the box. Le Marchand discovers that Jacques has killed L'Aille and taken control over Angelique, who agrees to be a slave so long as he does not impede the wishes of hell. The pair kill Le Marchand, and Jacques informs him that his bloodline is now cursed for helping to open a portal to hell. In 1996, Le Marchand's descendant, John Merchant, has built a skyscraper in Manhattan that resembles a lament configuration. Seeing an article on the building in a magazine, Angelique asks Jacques to take her to the United States so that she can confront him. When Jacques denies her request, Angelique kills him, as Merchant poses a threat to hell. Angelique travels to the United States, where she fails to seduce Merchant. Discovering the lament configuration of the building's foundation, Angelique tricks a security guard into solving it, which summons Pinhead. The two immediately clash, as Pinhead represents a shift in the ideologies of hell, which he left behind 200 years ago. While Angelique believes in corrupting people through temptation, Pinhead is fanatically devoted to pain and suffering. Despite their conflicting views, the pair forge an uneasy alliance to kill Merchant before he complete the Elysium configuration, an anti-lament configuration that creates perpetual light and would serve to permanently close all gateways to hell. Angelique and Pinhead initially collaborate to corrupt Merchant, but Pinhead grows tired of Angelique's seductive techniques and threatens to kill Merchant's wife and child. Having grown accustomed to a decadent life on Earth, Angelique wants no part of hell's new fanatical austerity, and she intends to force Merchant to activate the Elysium configuration to destroy hell, thus freeing her from its imperatives. However, Merchant's flawed prototype fails. Pinhead kills Merchant, but his wife opens Angelique's lament configuration, sending Pinhead and Angelique back to hell. In 2127, Rimmer displays Merchant's story and has him locked away. Pinhead and his followers, now including his slave Angelique, have already been afraid to have Merchant open the box. Upon learning of Dr. Merchant's intentions, they kill the entire crew of the ship, save for Rimmer and Dr. Merchant, who escape. Dr. Merchant reveals that the Minos is, in fact, the final perfected form of the Elysium configuration, and that by activating it, he can kill Pinhead and permanently seal the gateway to hell. Dr. Merchant strikes Pinhead with a hologram while he boards an escape pod with Rimmer. Once clear of the station, he activates the Elysium configuration. A series of powerful lasers and mirrors create a perpetual field of light, while the station transforms and folds around the light to create a massive box. The light is trapped within the box, killing Pinhead and his followers, thus ending Pinhead's existence, this time permanently. Yeah, we'll see about that. So anyway. So let's look at the production of this movie, beginning with the pre-production. Clive Barker, acting as executive producer, won a fresh turn for the series after 2 sequels to his original 1987 film. The initial premise for this film, a shape-changing structure used to trap Pinhead, was inspired by the end of Hellraiser 3, which featured a building whose architecture resembled the lament configuration. Barker suggested a 3-part film set in different time periods, and Peter Atkins added the Merchant storyline, going back to Barker's novella. Atkins had previously written Hellraiser 2 and co-written Hellraiser 3. Atkins and Barker pitched the idea to Miramax, who greenlit without requiring an outline. In the Hellraiser films and their legacy, author Paul Kane described the screenplay as ambitious and one of the best Hellraiser sequels. This screenplay featured a linear timeline, more special effects, and violent confrontations between Pinhead and Angelique. When Miramax wasn't willing to provide a budget to realize these scenes, the film was scaled back. Stuart Gordon, known for his low-budget horror films, was approached to direct but backed out after artistic disagreements. Special effects technician Kevin Yeager was subsequently hired after his cost-saving directing work on Tales from the Crypt for Joe Silver. Yeager was initially hesitant about taking the job, as he did not want to do a retread of the previous installments of the series. However, he was impressed with the script and became enthusiastic after Barker described his vision for the film. Doug Bradley, who had played Pinhead in all the previous films, joined the cast first. Bradley agreed the film should focus more on the other characters, and several lesser-known actors joined in major roles, including Canadian Bruce Ramsey and Chilean Valentina Vargas. As the script was scaled back once again to save money, the number of characters was reduced, and several were rewritten to have several motivations and origins. Gary J. Tunecliffe of Image Imagination, who had previously worked on Hellraiser 3, was recruited to perform the special effects. Tunecliffe was worried that Yeager would want to perform the effects himself, but Yeager wanted to collaborate with Image Imagination and believed their experience with prior films in the series would be valuable. Yeager himself only contributed to the Chatterbeast. For Angelique's appearance, Tunecliffe was inspired by Morticia Adams in Sister Act, converting the imagery of a nun's habit to flayed skin. In Hellraiser 3, Bradley's makeup as Pinhead had changed to make it easier to apply and take off at the cost of increased discomfort. Turner reverted to the old makeup, which she believed looked better. And now on to filming and post-production. Film began in Los Angeles in August 1994. Locations include the Imagine building, which is rumored to be Imagine building, which is rumored to be haunted, and an abandoned factory, which was converted into the space station. Problems began early and continued through production. Bradley called it the shoot from hell. Gary Lively, who had shot Hellraiser 3, replaced the original cinematographer. The assistant director was called away on an emergency. Several people suffered from illness, and Bradley said the art department and camera crew were all dismissed within the first week. Despite the issues, Hellraiser 4 was completed on time within budget. The initial cut of the film, shown to executives in early 1995, was 110 minutes. Miramax's reaction was negative, however, and they demanded that Pinhead receive a more permanent role and appear earlier. Atkins said they knew about the script, but possibly panicked when they saw the reality. Miramax's demands required rewrites. Pinhead was inserted into the opening of the film, which was changed so that the 26th century Paul Mergen narrates his ancestor's story, and a happy ending was added. Yeager, coming off the difficult shoot, declined to direct the new scenes and left the production, citing lack of time and energy. Though he was not necessarily opposed to Miramax's stitched changes, Yeager said he also did not want to see the film slowly morph into a different project after spending so much effort on it. Director Joe Chappelle was brought in to complete the film. Atkins wrote 3 new scenes, and when he became unavailable, Barker recommended Rand Ravitch, who previously worked on Candyman: Farewell to the Flesh. New footage was shot in April and May 1995. Bradley said they consist of entirely new material and were not truly reshoots. Angelique's origin and relationships with Pinhead and the Le Marchand line were changed. Many scenes were removed during editing, especially from the Le Marchand storyline. Angelique and Pinhead originally had a more violent adversarial relationship. Angelique represented an older, more chaotic version of hell that favors drawn-out temptation, and Pinhead represented an aesthetic, results-based order that takes over. The theatrical cut made this more ambiguous and replaces in their hostility with sexual tension. The final cut was 85 minutes long. When Yeager saw the finished film, he felt it strayed too far from his original version and had the same room for the credits, using the DJ pseudonym Alan Smithy. And now finally, let's take a look at the themes. Ken identifies several themes in the film. The first, time, is evident in the film's nonlinear narrative, which takes place in the past, present, and future. King compares the flashbacks told for the future with time travel stories. Though Paul does not travel through time, he succeeds in his task, Kane writes, because of his knowledge of the past, including his ancestors' plans and their failings. The characters frequently reference time in dialogue, and clocks are a common background element, especially in Philip's toy shop. In the space station, A countdown announces the time until the Elysium configuration will kill Pinhead and his fellow Cenobites. Before he dies, Pinhead announces, "I am forever!" Toys and gameplay are a common theme in the film series, all of which feature the Lament configuration, a puzzle box created by a mystical puzzle box created by a toy maker. Kane identifies that these themes as much more blatant in Bloodline. In the original shooting script, demonic gamblers served Angelique. She plays a sexual game with her victims, and Pinhead toys with mortals for amusement. Kane draws parallels to video games when John uses a computer to design the Elysium configuration. Kane compares the space station scenes to a shoot-'em-up game in which Paul insists only he can win the endgame. Pinhead makes many references to game playing, including when he kills John, and John's wife Bobby references game playing when she sends Pinhead back to hell. Kane identifies sex, death, and adultery as frequently intertwined, though he says this somewhat weakened in the theatrical cut. Angelique tempts the merchant bloodline, and adultery results in their death. Due to cuts made during editing, Kane says it's most evident in Angelique's relationship with John. In the shooting script, Philip's obsession with Angelique in the Lament configuration more explicitly mirrored that of a marital affair. Kane writes that Paul avoids death by ignoring relationships and is rewarded with a relationship once he redeems his bloodline. Jacques orders Angelique to kill Philip out of jealousy, and it is the same jealousy that later causes death at Angelique's hands. According to Kane, many of the characters' relationships are based on slavery and bondage. Angelique is a slave to De L'Isle, then Jacques. When she rebels against the new austerity in hell, she comes to conflict with Pinhead, who eventually puts her under his control. Pinhead himself is a slave to the will of hell, though Kane says he exercises more independence than Angelique. The merchant bloodline are slaves of the Lament configuration. John, and to a lesser extent Philip, are also slaves to their obsession with Angelique. Mirror images feature prominently in the film, including twin Cenobite and literal mirrors that Angelique and Paul use. In Kane's analysis, Paul not only mirrors his ancestors but also Pinhead, whom he emulates to become stronger. Kane describes how darkness and light also show up in the film, sometimes literally, as the light kills Pinhead, and sometimes metaphorically, as Angelique and Pinhead show elements of their underlying humanity. So overall, I think this movie is pretty interesting. I like the fact that, we have scenes that take place in the future, in the past, and present, all their stuff. So, So it's kind of interesting that way. So, So overall, I give Hellraiser Bloodline 3 Lament configurations out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in on Fridays. We take the next film in the series, Hellraiser Inferno. So until then, remember everyone, whatever you do, don't fall asleep.